Hello everybody, today we'll be doing some image processing using Python. We'll be doing it in the RGB Color Space and it will be a green screen type application. So we'll be basically replacing the green screen. Alright, so it's the usual. You get your resources here. Mm, and we'll be using matplotlib, pyplot, and matplotlib images. That's to get and to render the images. And we'll be using NumPy to operate on the images and CV2 to manipulate the images. Or its CV2 is also OpenCV. And we'll be printing all the images in line, meaning inside of Notebook. First, we get the image. The images I have resides in these two directories here. They reside in these two directories, right? And once we get the images, we now I need to know the image size, their dimensions, or because the dimension must be equal, they must be the same for this to work. So I'm just going to print out the dimensions of the images and I'll render the image to the screen to see what we're working with. So the dimension of the image dimension, this is the green screen image dimension here. It has a height of 300 and a width of 470. The background image we'll be using has a height of 656 and a width of 474. This number is the color depth. We're not going to be interested in that, or the channels. This is the background image we'll be using today. And so that's the background image. Let's see what the green screen or foreground image looks like. And this is the green screen image we'll be using. So it's a cockpit, and the background image will be space. So I think that's the Eagle Nebula. I'm not too sure. All right, I just saved these values here. These are the values of the green screen image. The width is 470 and the height is 300. We'll have to do some adjusting to this background image. We'll have to resize it so that it's the same size as the green screen image, or you can resize the green screen image to be the same size as the background image, but I'm going to resize the background image. Okay. And here, before we resize the image, this is the OpenCV function we'll be using to resize the image. And you can see the image takes, the order is the width first, then the height. All right, that's the order you have to put it in. When we get the dimensions, you see it showed the height first, then the width. So just be careful with that. All right. And you'll notice if it doesn't look right, you'll notice it too. So don't sweat the technique. All right, let's see this. All right. So we have resized the background image, the Eagle Nebula. We have resized it to the same size and shape as the green screen image, and you can see that they're the same size now. All right, now that we have prepared the images, let's mask. We'll do something called color masking, or we'll be taking out the green. First, we have to create our color threshold. Since we are removing the green, we need a lower threshold for green and an upper threshold for green. Green has different shades. You want to make sure we hit all the shades as possible. As you can see here, this is an RGB color scheme. So this is red, this is green, this is blue. Here we are just, the lower limit is 180. We're just dealing with green. All right, everything else is 0. And with this green, we don't want, with this green, that's the lower limit. We'll take now in the upper limit green here, we max out the green parameter to 255. And we also increase the red and the blue a little bit. This is mainly for the edges. You know, where the edge of the green meets the cockpit, there'll be some intermingling of colors, right? The colors will be blended. That's how digital images work. So to get a nice edge, we'll try this to start with. You may have to tweak it a bit. All right, that's in. Now let's create the color mask. So the mask is just another image, basically, but this is the mask of the main image, right? So we created here, we use the in range function. We take in the image. It takes also the lower threshold and the upper threshold of the green that we would like to remove. And here we are going to display it. We're going to visualize the mask in grayscale. All right, now that is the mask. This is a separate image by itself. And we'll be using this going forward to put over the images that we want to keep, and we can use it to take out the image that we don't want. All right. Now that we have our mask, we can use it to mask the main image. All right, so this is gonna just go on top of the main image to make sure that that part of the image is preserved. Whatever is under the black portion will be preserved, and whatever is outside of that we would actually change that to another color. So here is how you do it. First, you make a copy of the image. So, you know, it's going to be our mask image now. Making a copy of the image, that's straightforward. Then we'll be using this operation here where it says, okay, on the mask image, everywhere on that mask image that is not 0, we want to fill it with black. That's basically it. 0 is black. So on the RGB system, 000 is all black. So everywhere on our copied image where it is not 0 on the mask, then make it 0. All right, so you're kind of overlaying the mask image onto the main image here. That's what you're doing. All right, and we have this. When we display it, we now have this. So all that area that was white is now black, and we are keeping the rest of the stuff, the rest of the image, which is the cockpit. Now it's kind of, it has some green in there. Look, you can tweak these values to see how best you can remove those green. But remember, you see how this edge is jagged, so I'm not surprised we still have green in there because those edges are jagged. Let's try to smoothen that out a little bit to see if it will help. So we'll make this 120 on 120. and see what that do. Look at the edges. Notice the edges, right? Ah, I see the edges are a little bit smoother. The edges are a little bit smoother. So let's carry that forward. And it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. I'm not going to go further on trying to eliminate that green altogether. You could just keep it as it is. All right. Now that we have our masked image and we have our background, let's now merge the two. And this is the steps for merging the images. Here, we're going to copy the background. We're going to apply the master background image. We're going to display image to make sure it looks good. And then we're going to add the images together. All right. First, we make a copy of that background image that we resized. That resized background image, we make a copy of that. Then we use this operation again to make our like a stencil in that area on the background. So we're kind of stenciling in the cockpit area, and we're going to keep that black, right? Here we renamed it BGR image, the background resized image here. So we want on the background resized image, wherever on the mask image, on the mask is equal to 0, we are going to also make that 0. I hope you understand that, but try to play it in your mind. We're using the mask here, and wherever it's 0 on the mask, make it also 0 or black. Make it black on the background image. So we sort of stenciling out an area for the cockpit on the background image when we do it this way. All right, let's show it. And there you have it. There you have on the background image this sort of stenciled in area that we will eventually put our cockpit into that stenciled out area. All right. That sort of cutout area. That's, yeah, let's, instead of using stencil, let's use cutout. In that cutout area, we'll be putting in our cockpit. We'll be lining our cockpit up exactly to fit that. All right. And the last thing is just to add them together. Of course, you know, this operator is overloaded in this case, so it will recognize this as, it will know what to do when it sees this argument or this expression here. So let's see what we get. And here we are. That's the final image with the background in and your foreground in. We still have a little bit of that green traced out, but you can work on that if you can. I'm not going to go any further. You can try to eliminate that if you want to, but that is how you get your green screen image and switch in and out of your green screen image, switch things in, switch images in, switch images out of your green screen. And the green screen is pretty straightforward because the green is pretty consistent, right? It doesn't take much. If let's say there's a lot of variation in the green, there's another technique we can use called HSV or HVS or something like that, which color spaces, HSV color spaces. I think it's H is for hue, S is for saturation, and V is for value. We can use that if there is a lot of variation in the green color, you know. All right, so thank you very much. And that is how you do the damn thing. All right, bye.